This episode has been brought to you by CompleteNutra.com, Whole Family Nutrition.
It is very interesting how lobbying really does matter. And I can say, because I've been involved in nutrition supplement companies that did custom nutrition. We literally sent a urine collection kit to your door. You would collect your urine and put it in the FedEx packaging, call the 1-800 number on the outside. It would go to the lab would process it, real time the information over to the formulary. The formulary would make your product and put it in those little life packets, ship it to your door. It was amazing, all based in award-winning clinical nutrition. Now, what do I mean by award-winning? I mean Nobel Prize for medicine was given to various scientists that worked at this lab.
Wow.
And they were making these formulations based on all their decades of research. That company died during the Great Recession. And unfortunately, it's pretty much gone forever. But that opportunity is ripe.
The concept is amazing.
Fantastic. So people wouldn't have to think. They could just go, okay, I've filled out the questionnaire. I've submitted my specimen. I can go home. I'm done.
That's what people want.
They do. So, I mean,
it's too confusing otherwise.
And it's
for
going to be
for a lot of
confusing.
people.
I mean, literally, you could have two bodies. That's the thing. In textbook learning, you can have everything the same, and they require completely different nutrient loads and completely different sources of nutrition. You know, you don't see two cases alike. You just don't. There's no two anythings alike in nutrition and bodies. So the exciting part is to start to sort of look forward to where technology can be very user-friendly. Mm-hmm. If we brought that kind of nutrition into AMA medicine, can you imagine what would happen? People would start to actually get well.
Wow.
It would change everything. And maybe we're not going to do that. Maybe we're just going to keep bringing forward more and more organized clinical nutrition. Maybe we need a Surgeon General, and maybe we need a Nutritionist General that could tell the public, because the Surgeon General came out with how to eating guides, and it's all just crap. It's just terrible.
Oh,
but
right.
If we had a clinical nutritionist general that was president appointed, had degrees in clinical nutrition, heck, maybe even won a Nobel Prize themselves as a scientist, these would be the people saying, here's how you eat, here's how you supplement. So I think the future, next 5-10 years, I think is going to look really good for this field and where it's going. My job is to help people thrive right now, and that's going to mean you got to just kind of get yourself with the basics, get your baseline supplementation figured out, and get really used to doing that every day. Like Jessie Keener, wouldn't dream of going on a trip without packing each day's supplement in the little baggies. I have everything lined out. I don't want to leave anything up to chance.
It was a great experience, like staying with you for I stayed out there in San Miguel de Allende.
San Miguel de Allende,
It was great because I was able to see how, you and Dad set up all your packets and all your supplements, and then how you took them every day, and you didn't leave and go to the restaurant without the baggie.
Right.
And I think people feel it's a little bit additional focus for us to remember to do this, but that's it. It's just a little bit additional focus, and nobody else is doing it around us. So that's why maybe people feel a little bit weird, people are going to think I don't know what people are thinking, but I
was taught a long time ago that what others think of me is none of my business.
That's a good point.
So
I like that.
I got over that a long time ago. You have to remember, I was the girl that took her chopsticks out of her purse at every restaurant at the age of 26 and proceeded to eat whatever the food was in Austin, Texas, with chopsticks so she could teach herself to chew, and slow down. So that right about there is where I gave it up about wondering what people thought.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, I mean, one of the things that I want to circle back to is you had mentioned that the AMA doctors, they're not trained in clinical nutrition. And if they start talking about clinical nutrition, they might get almost shunned, which I find to be almost a manipulative mind game and more of like peer reviewed. It's like peer pressure almost. It's like I as a doctor, maybe you don't want to say what you know, because you're going to get the backlash. You're going to get friends of yours that are going to be that completely just think it's stupid or flat earthy or something like that. And then
very much.
They're going to make you feel like you're less of a doctor. And so I think a lot of people, if we don't have a strong self-image that you said, it's none of your business what other people think about you. If we can't culture that, then we're going to be like, we might keep our mouth shut when we shouldn't.
Right. And I think there's a lot of suffering going on both sides because of that. I think that's very astute, Dave, because I think that the professionals, by and large, really do want to help their patient. Every single one that I've ever met, and I've met a lot of MDs, they all sincerely want their patient to do well.
Definitely.
I haven't met a bad one. I know there's a couple bad ones out there, but I haven't met them. But the reality is, you're right. They're suppressed. There's like a giant thumb that they're under, and they're not allowed to, and they know it's not normal. It's not standard operating procedure. And so it's almost like being in the military. You just don't want to step out of line. There's going to be repercussions, and you don't want that to come back on you. And there's also nightmare terror stories out there about people overdosing on supplements, or someone took so much niacin they were at the hospital. And I think that those stories about the bad experiences with supplements are also fuel for some of these medical doctors to say, no, I don't think you should be taking that. I actually had that happen to someone that I know. They took too much niacin. So this was a person whose personality is, if one pill is good, then 5 should be 5 times as good.
All right.
And he took 5 niacins because his nutritionist said you need niacin and take 1 a day. So he took 5 and forgot that he took it, and literally an hour and a half later was red and heat was pouring off of him, and he thought he was either having a stroke or he drove himself to minor emergency and got chastised. Rightly so, but the doctor ended up saying to him, Craig, I don't want you taking any supplements ever again. So they sometimes use those horror stories to scare people and frighten people.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Thank you for joining us for the Healthy and Family Show. Visit our website at healthyandfamily.com. That's healthyandfamily.com to see what all the other doctors, experts, and real moms have to say about keeping your whole family healthy. This episode has been brought to you by CompleteNutro.com, Whole Family Nutrition, and aired on the Goldstone Network. People, Planet, Future.